The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Forum, assemble! You are watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from Fantastic Forum Studios, Los Angeles. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have I'll say it again, half of the usual suspects in the building. First, he is the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh invulnerable brawler and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Do we have to talk about Eternals?
Yes. As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. We do have a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you all about Eternals. We are going to be talking to you all about the spine of the night. Uh-oh, that's that right?
I think so. It's either Spine of the Night or Spine of
the Spine of Night. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I added an extra that's what made it sound weird. It's the Spine of Night. And we're going to be talking to you all about learning with Pibby. Apocalypse. So we'll be talking about all that as well as probably the latest and greatest in comic book news and all that. So, and of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. So we'll tell you how to do that in just a second. But first, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not have existed. So Scott Rubin, thank you, man. Hope you're doing well. I promised I would let you all know how to get down with Fantastic Forum. It turns out, here's how you can do it.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Thank you, intern. We appreciate all your stalwart work. So, this show is Fantastic Forum. It is interactive. If you want to get down with Fantastic Forum, just go ahead and jump into the chat. Go to fantasticforum.live, hit the call-in button, and we'll get you in on Fantastic Forum. Just as easy as this. Boom! Boom! Ladies and gentlemen, he is our intrepid senior reporter. He's next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective. It's Oz.
How about a little warning next time?
What?
You need warning? Have my pants down or something. You don't know.
People expect that from you.
You came in the studio. Oh, we got a comment already. It is.
He beat Tiger Claw. He said, "You got this. You got this. You got this." I think he was talking to Oz.
Talking about you can have those pants off podcasting if you want to, Oz. It's all good for Lewis, not for me. I say no.
It's good for me too. I need something to laugh at. Tiger Claw in chat says, "How about those post-credit scenes in Eternals? I'm bi-curious how Disney is going to handle this one character since they will have toned down his exploits." We'll get to that all in due time.
We will.
But it has become tradition for us to talk about Chucky at first. And Joe's late. So Larry, you have to recap this week's episode of Chucky.
Oh, wait, it's a tradition now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do a weekly recap and review of each episode now.
Oh, okay. I'm like, well, with that being the case, look, I'm glad I prepared. So, this past week on Chucky, I didn't watch it.
I knew it.
The end.
You said last week you were going to watch it.
I did. And I'm sorry, Moses. I'm not trying to disappoint you. It's just what happens.
And what did I say? That you're
You
not
said-
going to watch it.
You did say that, and that, but that's. I mean, it makes sense that you'll be right about such things. You're Nostradamus.
And it has,
Nostradamus.
yeah, most are dumbass. And it has come to pass. So
Indeed.
yeah, the
In
prophet
accordance with
Moses.
prophecy.
And Oz, you didn't watch it either, right?
No, but I said from the beginning I'm not watching it.
I know, but Joe's not here yet.
He's like his dance cards filled up with all that Star Girl.
yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
and I'm
He's
sure
like-
he's excited about JLQ, right? Now, because like all the stuff he watches, like would fit right in.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
Is that a pun? No, like okay, I got it because I got it now. No, I get it. All right. Look, you're rocking that mustache, Oz.
Yeah, he looks like he's in law enforcement.
Yeah, if I cut my hair, I'll look like my dad.
That's
If
crazy.
you cut your which hair, like your facial hair,
My pubes. What do you mean?
I don't know what your dad looks like, so I don't know if your dad has facial hair or doesn't have facial hair. I don't know if you're talking about hair on the
Cut
side of
off
your
your
head.
pubes, you
I
look
don't.
like your mom.
It might. Oh, jeez! Wow! How does he know that?
The prophet Moses.
You could be
Sees
talking about
all-
the hair in your ears. Who knows, man? I don't know.
Sure. Okay, sure. Sure. Just because I want to move on. Sure. That's okay.
It does make him look more Arabic though, like or Greek. Like he looks like he'd be in my big fat Greek wedding.
Exactly on
Oh,
that.
No,
Is that
because
what's
the
happening?
mustache. It's a good mustache. It's a better mustache than any Hispanic should have.
My biggest right now, like the decision I'm making is, do I let this grow out to a point?
You can do that for work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, do it.
well, once a year, I'd have to shave it for gas mask, but
Yeah.
I can rock it for.
well, you don't want to mess around and friggin' get a magnificent facial hair and then have to shave it every year. That sucks.
Part of the fun is growing it.
I guess.
Big Man 24x7 says looks like an action movie villain. And he does look like one of
Yeah.
those actors that has a very soft accent.
Is anybody talking about
definitely-
Pippy, or are we moving on? What's going on?
We're killing time till Joe gets here, but I mean we can go right in.
I mean,
So you
like,
like it.
right off the bat, Tire Claw, like he saw Eternals, and the only thing he talked about is the post-credit scene, which was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean we could jump right in, dive right in.
Let's-
Let me play this
Let's do it.
comic book theater.
Comic book theater. Comic book theater.
Shout out to Tiger Claw for theater. So, listen, Eternals. It's the latest movie in the MCU. It stars a whole bunch of people. And definitely an ensemble cast. And it's about the Eternals, kind of.
Is it?
No.
Is it really?
I mean, hey. So I don't know, like which one of you all would like to maybe share your thoughts on this first. I would say it might be most appropriate for Moses to go first because I feel of all of us, Moses is probably the biggest Eternals fan, which is not necessarily to say you're the biggest Eternals fan ever, but of the Fantastic Forum, I think you're the one that appreciates the characters the most.
I do. I like what they do with them, how they interact with each other, their some of their history, their lore within, because the Eternals is something that's like it could be just its own thing and not have any other Marvel Cinematic Universe. Even the movie kind of felt like that, even though they did put it in part. But really, if this movie took place 7,000 years ago at the dawn of creation, and that led to a conflict, like it probably would have been better. Yeah,
I agree with you.
but it's definitely this movie. It credits Jack Kirby, and then it takes away anything that makes Jack Kirby's design of these characters away. It just leaves the circles, but the circles they're even like not really symmetrical, whereas Kirby loved doing symmetry with circles. And and then the headgear, like nobody has like headgear. I think Thena probably has it for a little bit, but it does.
You get a little bit with Ajax, a little bit, but not
a little bit. But
definitely
also
not Kirby
was an old white man in the original design,
true.
so they redesigned that and took all of Kirbyisms. And so, but as far as the movie goes, it watching some of these characters in live action, even the way they execute them, it does bring a little bit of tear to my nerdy eye, like just watching. Some of the lines that Icarus and just the internal drama within the crew of Eternals is very like, wow, I'm watching an Eternals movie. Even then, it's like, oh, Icarus is the villain. And did I forget to say spoilers? Oh no. But yeah, it's just not. Yeah, so the movie itself is well done. I guess it should have just not had to worry about being part of the MCU. It could still have been. It could, but I think it would have been better if it was just its own thing. Like the way the MCU handles Celestials, like it's not. They tried to do it more true to the comics here, but we already have Ego, so that confuses the shit out of everybody except fans of the MCU solely have a short attention span when it comes to these things.
Yeah.
I think they'll be all right. They might not even have to retcon anything, because
people are paying their close of attention.
And then now, like, in reading a synopsis and stuff ahead of time, like they said they're androids, and I guess that kind of seems right, which is weird, and I don't like that either.
That whole android stuff just made it so much dumber.
Like it's unnecessary.
Well, like Mikari.
Yeah.
If you're gonna create something, why is she deaf?
Well, here's the thing. I thought, because in the comics the deviants are defective Eternals. So I'm like, oh shit, they made her a deviant and a her, because she's defective because she can't hear. So it's like,
oh,
what?
Wow.
Well, I mean that's the thing. Like if they
from a Darwinian stance, Larry, from a creationist stance, that's defective.
Like, if they would have gone with the original creation story for Eternals, it would make sense if one of them was deaf. Also, like if you want to have a deaf character, but you're gonna say somebody created this character, I mean, you could have the character go deaf in battle, like right off the bat, and then you still have what you need. You're still checking that box, but it makes sense to what you're doing. Why an Eternal? Why a Celestial will create a being that is permanently 13? Like that's just creepy. There's just there's a lot of things that stop making sense in a movie that already made little sense. And I think this all goes down to just lazy screenwriting.
And it basically makes Thanos non-deviant now, right?
I don't know. I don't know how they would explain any or all that, just because it's like And again, spoilers. So, if you're just tuning in, spoilers are for Eternals. So if you haven't seen it yet, you may want to sit tight for like 20 minutes to come back. I don't know. So yeah, in the comics, you have the Eternals as like you said, it's the Eternals and the Deviants basically are genetic, like it's Celestials coming to Earth and playing with the human genome. So so you literally have Celestials creating Deviants and creating Eternals from the primates they find on Earth. And so that makes it so that all the Eternals are, of course, biological, and therefore, like, but because they have the source, or they come from the same source, basically, Thanos is an Eternal, but has a bit of deviant, like a recessive deviant gene or whatnot, and so he looks the way he looks. He looks like a deviant despite being an Eternal, and of course, that gets him shunned by the community, and that's part of why Thanos ends up the way he does, because he had a bad childhood, because everybody were like, "Oh, you look like our mortal enemies, even though you're one of us. We know you're one of us. We saw you born, but we don't like the way you look." And so, it's like, but now it's kind of like, okay, if the Eternals are not biological, if they're synthetic beings, it's like, and keeping in mind, Thanos never says he's an Eternal. But based on what happens in some of the post-credit scenes, it's like the thought is, okay, if you have that, you follow in the logic, then he is, I guess, an Eternal too, and therefore synthetic, which which I don't think they're gonna do. They're not gonna do that.
Weird looking for no reason.
I mean, maybe they're gonna, but see, and it's like, first of all, just the whole way they handled the Deviants on its own, I was very disappointed by. Just because, I mean, they basically made the Deviants animals, and I'm no huge Deviant fan, but in my mind, it's like, you don't need like a race of super beings to hunt down animals, and so I get that, you get a little bit more from one of them because they start evolving or whatever, but I don't know, like all of that in relation, and keeping in mind, this is definitely about me knowing the comic and knowing like the source material, but it just feels like a lesser version of everything.
As someone who doesn't know a damn thing about these characters, this movie on its own, it's still bad. It tries to make me feel bad for stuff happening to characters that they haven't given me any reason to care about at all.
And that is definitely a downside of this movie, because I know I found myself in that same situation, like sitting there and just kind of being like, why do I root for any of these people? Because they don't, like, and that's the thing, where it's not even so much like they're not unlikable, they're just like, they're neutral. Everybody feels super neutral, and it's like, even the characters that have personality, it's like they don't do anything, or like the closest I think you get is what's old boy's name? Fastos with the family. Like, I feel like that's the closest you get to, it's like, oh, okay, well, at least this dude is like fighting for his family. And it's like, but at the same time, it's kind of like,
I love how his
just got here.
His great way of helping humanity was like the steam engine in like Babylon. It's like, dude, just give him the iPhone already. What the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, but what do you
What like what? It's not like the steam engine's the peak in human technological achievement.
And that's the thing, considering like how they describe his power, that was the peak of his ingenuity at that time.
Yeah,
Oh, this is my marvelous creation, the steam engine. I'm
it
like,
will outrace horses, I tell you.
yeah, I'm not like, dude, come on. You could have at least said, hey, maybe they're ready for this now before we give them airplay, or let me know that you can do more, not like you've reached the pinnacle
Right.
at this point of what you can do.
Like if the Eternals was a religion, like this movie was a religion, I know it'd be bullshit because it took humans this long to invent the fleshlight. Like Fastos would have come up with that like early on. We probably had world peace if they would have thought of that at the beginning of humanity.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like honestly, like I feel like there were this. It definitely reminded me of like the Guardians experience, like watching the original Guardians of the Galaxy, where I'm kind of like, this doesn't feel like the characters that they're supposed to be. But at least with the first Guardians, I was like, but this is like an enjoyable movie. It shouldn't be Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm having a good time. But in Eternals, I was like, I don't know, like I don't know if I'm having a good time, like because it's not even like it's like there are some concepts in it that are interesting and could work, but it's just the way it's laid out and executed is pretty. It's pretty like I feel like it doesn't ever gain momentum.
I think
like there's no point where you're just like, okay, here we go.
I think every character has an interesting, like there's an interesting story there that they kind of gloss over because there's so many of them. I think if you cut the cast in half and give a little bit more time, like let me see a little bit more with Thena and Gilgamesh, or let me what's Druig doing, or just a little bit more time with some of the characters. I think I would care more about them, even just like the main moral dilemma that they present, where by saving Earth you're preventing billions of lives from ever being made. Do we preserve this and sacrifice that, or do we let this go? Like that's an interesting concept that they just kind of gloss over. They make the decision in like 5 seconds. Like, okay, well that's bad. We're gonna stop.
And the thing is, Eternals kind of make decisions in 5 seconds usually, but they do that through the Unimind. Like their consciousness just go together, and then it weighs out all the pros and cons within seconds, and then okay, we're taking this, and then they all follow through because they all had their say in the Unimind. The way they utilize the Unimind here isn't like great. Yeah,
it's a Megazord. It's a Megazord.
Megazord.
It's not. It's essentially like it's a board meeting that takes place without any like bickering or anything. It's just the raw thoughts. Yeah,
with our powers combined.
Yeah. But
and then, by the way, in that whole, like everything they do is undercut by the fact that the Celestial like can just grab them at any moment, but doesn't stop a newborn Celestial from being murdered.
Right.
Doesn't do anything. But then later they show us, well, he could just grab them and pull them and reprogram them because they're robots. It just, why does Icarus fly into the sun? Like I get the philosophical aspect of that, but it doesn't make sense in the movie.
No, it doesn't. No.
This movie's a mess.
And even like he has all this emotion and love saves all because he's like too hardwired to follow the orders. So it's like it's weird. Like even him being the villain, it's like okay, he's not entirely evil because he's an android that's just executing its programming, but then he cares about Cersei so much that he just goes against his whole programming after fucking up his friends.
Even though the Eternals were created because the Deviants were able to evolve, so they were created so that they wouldn't be able to do this.
Right. And you know, and that again, when you talk about concepts, this is kind of like the Blade Runner shit, or even like this exact concept was better handled in Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like you have different things that you can actually do well, just ripping off. If you don't want to follow the source material that actually lays it out for you, you know, it's and I guess now there's no like Terrigenesis or anything. No, like they wiped out Inhumans.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't wipe them out, did they? I mean,
they've made it so that you have to find a new way to introduce them to the MCU, if at all. But if you could use this as an introduction to mutants in general too, right?
Right, the latent Terrigenesis. Yeah,
that's why
that'd be a bad idea.
That's why Miss Marvel is a Green Lantern in the MCU, and not an actual like. She's technically inhuman, right? Because it's the Terrigenesis.
She's supposed to be.
Yeah. But she's not going to do that in. She's not going to. I don't think that's what's going to be.
No, she's a Green Lantern. She's going to have the band, and it's going to project energy.
Well, it's the stuff they use here because that's what they did, right? Didn't they create that like Proteus type like light construct outfit?
It could be, but it literally looks like hard light constructs, where this actually kind of looked metallic and. Yeah, I don't know. That's a whole nother thing. That show may still be better than this movie. From what I think. The best thing about this movie is knowing that Blade is in it. Ooh,
wait,
you
what?
didn't know that.
Yeah, Larry didn't know that.
Did you know that, Mo?
I knew that.
Blade in it.
Blade is in the movie.
Yeah, in the
he has lines.
In after.
Oh, that's who the. Oh, that's the voice.
That's talking to Black Knight. So, Black Knight's going to be a vampire hunter now? Is that what? I mean, like, he's wasted in this movie.
For Disney, yeah, that works. I think out of the things that made this movie wrong is that it is Disney, and you know, they don't want to fuck with the creation myth too much. You know, like. They want it to in MCU. It's still, you know, God that created Adam and Eve. I mean, that's the agenda.
It just seems to me like
but you could still have that. That's the Eternals. God creates Adam and Eve, and then when after all the incestual stuff.
No, because then you would say the Celestial is Yahweh.
No, because he does. It's Celestial doesn't create an Adam and Eve. He messes with already existing humanoids.
They seed the planet.
In the comics, right?
They seed the planets.
Yeah, you know, it's a weird thing because I feel like just like how you were saying before, where, and this is actually I guess another reason why I'm like. You know, of where I guess Guardians, I liked Guardians better. Is like Guardians, the first Guardians movie was like actually all on its own, right?
Yeah.
Like the first Guardians movie was basically like self-contained, and then you introduce them when it makes sense.
Because it was the first movie they did completely in space.
Yeah.
Right.
It's technically connected through Thanos and that, but it's not like overt. Yeah. Like you can watch it without watching any of them.
Right. They don't go to Earth, or nobody from Earth goes to them. And what I'm saying is, it's like you were mentioned before, like this could have been a self-contained movie, and whether it could have been all the way in the past, or it could have been, you know, like even somewhat present day or like, you know, in the mix, but still more self-contained. And but it just feels like there's no good reason for this particular movie to intertwine it with the other things that are happening in the Marvel Cinematic Universe at this point. And
that reminds me too, Larry. That's why Thanos isn't a deviant. Because
why?
Because they were only allowed to interfere in human shit when deviants attacked.
Mm.
And they didn't do it when Thanos attacked.
That's true.
No.
Which also doesn't make sense because Thanos' thing was gonna end half the life in the universe, but life is what the Celestials fed on in the planets. So, like, unless the Celestials knew that the Avengers would bring everybody back, like Thanos' plan would stall the Celestials' plan for like thousands of years.
And there are people that have put out theories that was part of why, like that was like one of his real motivations, supposedly. But I don't have any faith that the MCU was planning that far ahead, and they could try to bring it around to that, but it's like, nah, like it doesn't. It like to me, it's like there's no good reason to pretend that was the motivation.
We're coming to the mid-90s era of MCU where they're throwing stuff out there and and seeing what sticks,
Like we're only here for the art right now.
Yeah. That's the art. I mean, look, some of it feels like that, and some of it, I was rewatching Loki today, and it's like, dude, this shit's fucking amazing. It's the one that least follows anything in the comics. And it's the one to me, my favorite thing.
Loki.
All right, what follows at least in that?
I mean, I think the Guardians follows at least in Loki. Like Loki
Sylvie's got the half broken horn thing for a little bit. That was in comics. I saw that.
I mean, like honestly, like, even like like the TVA and like all that stuff. Like all that stuff is pretty true to the source material outside of
the
course
TVA, like there was 1,000 Mobiuses, right?
Okay,
this TVA, everybody's different. There's only one Mobius as far as we know, as far as we saw.
Okay, so you're saying the concept isn't the same because the character they have, instead of them being a whole bunch of that character, they only went with one guy?
Yeah, because they were all clones, whereas in this TVA they were variants ripped from their timeline.
So it doesn't.
I'm saying it's a change, but it's like the concept of the TVA is they're still doing what the TVA does.
Is the Fakino?
I didn't see the retcon canon, the ret canon.
I don't know what you're even talking about.
That's because you don't know anything about the TVA. As the true Marvel fan that actually knows the weaponry and arsenal of the TVA.
Listen, if you want to read the Wikipedia page, you feel free. I'm talking about actual comics. I'm not talking about
that Wikipedia page didn't exist till a month ago.
I know, right? I'm just like, listen, if you want to deep
I mentioned the retcon canon on this show before, and you still forgot.
Probably the worst comic, the worst issue the TVA was in. You can do that. That's fine. I don't mind. I just say I don't know anything about that. I'm talking about concepts, like actual.
Fireclaw in chat says, "I love all the stuff with Kingo, especially his valet. That dude came prepared." And he goes on to say, "What about the mid-credit scene where this character makes a surprise appearance, and the actor playing him caught everyone off guard?"
Tarkalaw, everything you just said in that comment is, I'm gonna say off as I self-edit, because on this show we talked about the actor, we talked about the character, we told you all that.
It was when you weren't here,
Larry. Character. Get out of here! Really?
We talked about the casting.
Really?
Yeah. We knew
I was surprised. I didn't know that.
We knew Star Fox, and we even talked about the Adam Strange.
No, Adam Warlock.
That guy.
Tyreclaw's not talking about. Tyreclaw's not talking about Tiger Claw's not talking about Adam Warlock or Star Fox.
He's talking about Star Fox and Harry Styles.
No, he's not.
Who's
No,
he talking about?
He's talking about the other character.
Oh, Pip the troll?
Yeah. And you know who played Pip?
Tiger Claw. I know who. Yeah.
But, yeah. So what?
That's what he's talking about.
Tiger Claw. Are you talking about?
He's in everything Marvel. Like he's MODOK.
But no one knew that character was going to be in it.
Hold on. We're all speculating here. When the guy we're talking about is in chat.
Yeah, the true canon.
So let me hold on. Which one's the button?
Tiger Cannon
producer.
Yeah, he says he's talking about Star. Yeah.
Boom.
Damn it! I was trying to give you credit, Tiger Claw.
Boom goes my
why? Look, why would you? That's your bad.
You're right. Why would I? Oh my god.
Arrows, the horny eternal.
And he misspelled arrows.
He's not eternal. Because if he was eternal, it would make Thanos a deviant.
He said he's an eternal.
See, Larry, yeah.
I'm just saying that's what he said. So I don't know.
Please stop misspelling arrows. Or have I been spelling it wrong? I thought it was only one R.
It's one R in mythology, but in comics it's two. Because he's sexy, so he's Eros.
No, it's one R in the comic.
Eros.
Even though I will say, honestly, the sad fact of the matter is that the highlight of this whole thing for me was definitely Pip the Troll. I was like, oh my god, it's Pip the Troll. Did it? Why?
It didn't look good.
I mean, like, what's wrong with him?
I don't know. The special effect wasn't that like
it didn't like it looked
like if you're gonna redesign all of Kirby's shit for this entire movie, put a redesign on Pip that fits your special effects budget, man.
I don't know. I didn't think it looked bad, but
yeah, but we know you and looking and seeing.
Listen, I think I was looking and seeing just fine for that. That's what I think. Yeah.
Tiger Clan says Eros is an eternal because he had the same sphere that was used to communicate with celestials. Oh, that's why.
Yeah. So Pip was definitely my highlight because I was like, one step closer to Infinity Watch, baby. One step closer. Now all we need is Moondragon, and that's it. We're good to go.
We have Moondragon already.
We do?
Yeah.
Where?
They made him a guy.
No.
In whatchamacallit, in season 2 of Jessica Jones.
No, that's not. That's a different. That's whatchamacallit, the dragon. Like that's not Moondragon.
It's Moondragon. Because he taught Hellcat how to fight.
No.
Who teaches Hellcat how to fight, Larry?
I'm trying to think of what's the person's name? Because you're talking about. I know who you're talking about in Jessica Jones, but that person's name is not Moondragon.
It's Moondragon. They recast, rename, re-race swap like Moondragon.
Well, listen. You're gonna have to tell me the name of that character.
Like, I mean, if you're gonna tell me somebody like different taught Hellcat how to fight, like you can tell me, and maybe that's who they have there. But as far as I know, Moondragon taught Hellcat how to fight, and in that movie, a dude that's a black guy.
Moondragon
had a fight.
You're saying because that's who was supposed to be in the comic, that person has to be Moondragon because it taught Hellcat how to fight.
Right.
No.
Yeah. That's Moondragon.
Black. Well, we're gonna go with that then. Like, welcome to the Infinity Watch, sir. Welcome to the Infinity Watch. Adam Warlock will be calling you soon.
Yeah.
I would just be so weird. Like, it would already be weird because that version of Drax isn't the version of Drax that was on the Infinity Watch.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got CGI Pip and friggin' memory loss Gamora, and then friggin' Batista friggin'
invisible Drax.
right, Batista,
That's like
invisible Drax,
eating shit
and
in the
then
middle of
random black dude. He's like, I'm Moon Dragon, motherfucker.
yeah.
Like, what? Like, what's happening? Why is
It's
he
like, you don't belong here. Try it. I'll fuck you up.
Oh, jeez, man. So
let's see here. Tiger Claw says, do you think they're going to show Arrows having sex with any female? I'm sorry. Do you think they're going to show Eros having sex with any female Marvel heroes in the future movies? He's all about pleasure. They're not.
yeah, man.
Bang somebody.
Eternals,
not.
Eternals 2 is gonna have 3 times as many sex scenes as the first one.
That was a little weird. Like,
but they're androids.
Yeah.
Hey, highly sophisticated androids.
It's just like that's the only acting those two characters did. Like
I mean, we're not getting a Julia
in her face. Like, oh, he just went inside.
Oh, you are so crazy for that.
Movie, like, blank face, like just nothing. Both of them. Well, I guess Icarus kind of made a face, but half of it was CGI stuff coming out of his eyeballs.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a riddle inside of an enigma. It's Jay. What up?
Hey, what's up?
Jay,
Jay, did you notice the moment that Cersei was penetrated? Or was that just us?
I think it was just you guys.
No, don't include me in that at all. I don't want to be a part of that. No.
But I missed like 20 minutes of the movie, so.
Doing what? Did you take a dump?
Yeah. Like it was really bad.
He didn't pause it to go take it. I mean, sorry, you went to the theater and
yeah. Like I saw it in the theater. I wasn't able to see it in IMAX. Unfortunately, the showtime was like bad, but I saw it in the regular screen in the theaters, and yeah, I just really had to go. Like during one of the flashback scenes, it was like 6 days ago, and I bounced, and the next thing I knew, Icarus was fighting everyone.
Jack's like, what is happening?
Right, like I don't know why he turned against them or anything, but
actually, you went to take a shit in the like reveal of like who the villain really is of the movie.
It's probably like the one part of the movie that you actually needed to see. Everything else you could have went any other time, and you'd have been fine. You went at the one point in the movie where it's like, okay, like now, yeah, right. Like you saw 2 separate movies. You're like, wait, what's this? When you came back, you're like, what movie is this one now? This is the sequel? What happened? And you're like,
I walked into a branched universe.
All right, dang, Jay, that sucks.
Yeah, I can see it again.
No, don't do that, Jay. Don't do that.
Why not? I'm gonna be in the theater anyway. What you call it is, I think there's something this weekend coming out that I want to see. Or at the very least, 2 weeks from now, Ghostbusters will be out, so I'll be in the theater. Then I'll probably check it out again.
Okay. So what did you think of Eternals, Jay?
I thought it was strangely similar to Steven Universe.
How so? Please tell us.
Like the same exact plot point happens where there's a creature growing inside the earth, and they're trying to stop it from like bursting out. Like I actually was going to prepare a clip, but I think I've mentioned how much my internet provider sucks. Yeah, like I was gonna do it yesterday. I was actually gonna upload Peridot talking about the cluster, and like how similar it is to the Eternal plot. But my internet was down, so I couldn't get the screen capture. And that was actually when I was planning on watching Spine of Night, and I couldn't do that then when I wanted to. And man, I tell you, when you get a contract with the building, you could be as shitty as you want because there is nothing your customers can do about it.
That sucks.
Big
I have
man.
to. I have to agree with this sentiment. I watched Eternals and I felt like I should take a dump too. much like the writers of this movie, just took a dump and put it on screen.
Damn.
Big man in chat says Jay used this movie as a laxative.
I think it might have been the popcorn butter.
the butter.
Right.
Listen, I will agree with Oz though in the sense that I think that the writing was the issue here, just because there were concepts, like the concepts aren't bad concepts. It's just the way that they decided to put it together. And
Well,
I mean,
you don't explore any of the concepts. They just
Right.
kind of like present them like a headline
Even
and move on.
like the way this movie handles them, trying to kill each other and then being fine 2 minutes later, that is something that happens in the comics with Eternals, and it and it happens fast, just like this. It just
right.
for some reason doesn't feel right here. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's a translation of page to screen, but it just doesn't some of these characters like felt like the comic a little bit, like Sprite, Icarus.
Yeah, true.
Icarus didn't feel at all like
Mm-mm.
not even like when I'm watching this movie and she picks Cersei over Icarus to lead them. It like makes sense here. He doesn't do shit.
It barely makes sense though, because everybody else is like
Right.
Icarus could lead us, right? Like he could lead.
Right. But even the way Icarus is here is not like he is in the comic.
It doesn't make sense for any of those people to leave. Like, I guess maybe if you're gonna pick one person, maybe Thena. Like Thena feels like I mean, yeah, she's sick, but she feels like she's the one that gets the job done. Everybody else
so bad that it's like, let's just make it so they just leave. But she's the one that's sick, and it's like in the comics she was like one of the Stark's like weapons designer in Stark Industries, so it's like it'd be tight to like see her in a flashback there, or even even Howard Stark during like the early Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like the Agent Carter time, like she's there after she decided to not intervene with humans, but she's like, I'll work as a
right.
And
right, it's like even for someone like myself, like I'm not a huge Eternals fan, but I'm very familiar with them just because like
they're peppered in
interlaced throughout throughout the Marvel universe. And like of all the Eternals, the one that I'm probably like my favorite Eternal outside of Thanos is Cersei, because like that's the one that I'm most familiar with her being an Avenger and like her whole relationship with Black Knight and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like that character in this movie doesn't act anything like the character in the comic book. And I'm just like, man, it's pretty like, and on top of that, it's like it's crazy because it's like, I mean, I get that you don't want every Eternal like being like super like kick ass and like being able
but why
to do
not
everything. Well, hey, I mean, you might want a little bit of variety. I don't know. Like I'm not trying to sit here and say they should all do everything, but I'm like, but Cersei does everything. Like Circe is literally like she has like, of course, the big thing they show in this is like the matter like manipulation or transmutation or whatever. But in the comics, she can fly. She's a telepath. She has energy projection. She's not invulnerable. She's super strong. Like she does everything. And so it's just so weird because I'm like she was like literally a powerhouse on the Avengers. And to watch like this person in this movie, I'm just like, man, like they toned her down a lot. And I'm not saying that, you know, they toned down everybody in the MCU, but they toned her down like all the way. Where I'm just like, okay, well, I guess we're matter manipulating now, and that's it.
I feel like we didn't get the whole movie. Like, there's got to be a Chloe Zhao cut out there somewhere. Because
I think this is it.
No, because there's moments that like when Faustus traps Icarus, and he's like, I've been waiting to do this for a long time. Like, I'm sitting there thinking, like, you guys have been like buddies just everything I've seen you two in.
No, but he wanted to hold him down to fuck him.
Oh, see, that's not right.
All right, yeah, okay.
Hey, this whole movie is not right. Like, it's fitting.
True. Not right.
Didn't know that that's what Faustus was into, but hey, I'm not gonna.
He wanted to be called Fistos.
That's why he had a crush on Gilgamesh for a while.
Yeah. Now, you know, this movie, like when you say, "Oh, I know that you can't have everybody be awesome," and that's one of the things that I really liked about the Eternals in the comics is like there's a power set that is kind of shared, and then there's like the specialty that they have, you know,
right?
And you know that's what makes a Sprite and an Ajax like cool parts of a team. And even when you get into the headbutting of everything, it's those little things that separate them from the stuff that they share that really becomes a big part, you know? And that, I mean, when you do the story with the Dreaming Celestial, which this is kind of what they did in that one, Sprite was the villain. And, and you know, they even did that here where it's like, oh, Sprite's a villain too, you know? And it's like, it really feels like the First Class where like Angel goes with Magneto just for fun. Yeah. And that's how this feels too, where it's like, you know, they did talk about her not wanting to be a teen, you know, a preteen her whole life, you know, but in the comics she was a lot angrier about it and she resented all of them. You know, so it was building over ages. And here it didn't feel like oh, it's only until they, you know, teens get iPhones that I'm mad that they don't they don't get to. I don't get to do that, you know.
Which apparently she never like held an iPhone until like the last minute of the movie.
Yeah, and you know, in the Neil Gaiman comics, like the Kingo role, like the movie star like thing is what Sprite has. It's kind of like the Hannah Montana show type celebrity status, you know. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just who knows. I don't know. I don't even know if they're gonna do more. I mean, you talk about the Chloe Zhao cut, and I really think this is it.
It bugs me that they were on Earth for 7,000 years and never changed their hairstyle. like especially Sprite. Like she had that messed up haircut for 7,000 years. I'd be angry too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Jay, do you have any final thoughts on Eternals? And if so, or if not, you want to go ahead and rate it for us?
Final thoughts. It was a movie. Yeah, that's it. It was a movie. I would give it a 3. Like it wasn't good, but it wasn't bad. So,
yeah.
Like as someone that's not familiar with the Eternals, this wasn't a bad movie. It just wasn't good either. Like it was like right in the middle, and at least some of the characters were interesting at times. So I give it a 3.
Okay. Oz, what say you, buddy?
Oops.
I gotta go 1.5. Like I want to give it a 3, but normally not knowing the source material can make these movies better because they always they're never true to the source material, or I guess I shouldn't say never, but oftentimes they're not true to source material, and that pisses us off too. So not being so familiar with it, like this, I should have came into this movie with an advantage. Like I should have been more likely to enjoy it than someone like Mo, who actually cares about the characters. And the fact that I didn't, and just didn't really have a good time, and it's 2.5 hours of just nonsense, nothing happening. It's 1.5, maybe a 2 at best.
Okay. Moses Magnum, what say you?
I this is close to 3 for me because it's like you said, the concepts and even the execution. Like it's like Joe said, it's a movie, and it's technically a somewhat well done movie, but it just hits all the. It doesn't hit the right marks. There's moments in it where I'm like, I'm feeling this, like, I'm seeing these creatures live, like specifically the Celestials, and I was like kind of moved by that, and then it's like, Icarus is the villain. And it's just like I think 2.5, 3 around there. Tarek Lon Chat said, what do you guys thinks of Ajax? And I don't know, like I don't use Ajax to wash my dishes or anything. I don't know who the fuck Ajax is. But
That was the kid, right?
No.
No,
Ajax?
no, Ajax is
Ajax. Oh,
yeah.
Ajax. Again, it's like they regendered him and cast somebody else specifically because he wasn't going to be in the movie. Like it's just he played, the Selma Hayek's part plays. Look, anytime I get to look at Selma Hayek, I'm happy. But she wasn't even in. Like, why bother changing this character that really has very little impact? Like, yeah, it's a crux of everything, but you don't have to do such a drastic change for that amount of screen time and script time,
Yeah.
Like you could have had, Clint Eastwood or anybody, or even just a generic old white man that just is good on camera, looks good on camera, Like you didn't need to spend money on Selma Hayek. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could have made Selma Hayek Cersei.
Dude. She would have been I think she would have been a better Cersei.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rate Eternals. I don't know, man. Like, I guess 2 out of 5. I just like it. Just like I don't know how it is that it felt like they managed somehow to like. It was interesting, but it didn't feel fun.
Mm-hmm.
And it and I'm not saying it needs to be like, it doesn't have to be light, but it should feel like, I mean, I guess, or maybe the better word is not, maybe fun isn't the right word, because fun, like the movie, the tone wasn't supposed to be a fun tone, but it should be like thrilling, and it wasn't thrilling. Like there was no point where I was like, man, will they do it? Is this gonna happen? Like, like, I mean, I know where the climax is technically because I understand story, but the feeling that was invoked, like there was no, like, I didn't get that feeling at that part of the movie. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, I was just like, I just flat throughout the whole thing, which is really unfortunate because, like, some of those characters are characters I really enjoy, and like I said, the highlight was the mid-credit scene, which is weird. That should not be how the
And only
that should
because of
not be
Pip.
the case. Right? Yeah, no, definitely that was. Yeah, I was like, oh, look at that. Like,
I would have cast someone different.
Yeah. Okay, I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see it. I can see it, and
He
I
would
think
have put Jack Black.
I think actually I would have gone with John Mulaney for this one.
No, that's a bad idea. Mulaney? No. Why Mulaney?
Like the timbre of his voice, like is always kind of like what I felt Pip sounded like. Like in my head, like it wasn't like exactly Mulaney, but it was close to Mulaney. Like it definitely was away from Patton Oswalt.
I definitely would not have thought of Patton Oswalt myself, just because I would have thought like a little more, maybe a little more gravelly, but just because it's like a person that's like smoking cigars and drinking drink all the time, like just somebody that's like a little more with the revelry. But hearing what Patton Oswalt did with it, it was actually not a bad rendition to me. But yeah, but I hear you. They definitely could have cast somebody different, but he did a better job with this than he did with MODOK. But I think that's a stylistic thing. Like like I don't know, not my MODOK.
I still haven't seen MODOK.
Me either. I don't want to get Hulu just for it.
Yeah. I think
they don't sell it on Amazon.
It definitely feels like it's your kind of show, Jay.
Oh, I know. Like, trust me, if they sold it on Amazon, I would have bought it already. Yeah. But I guess they don't want my money. I don't know.
That's it. They don't want your money. They're like, J dollars? Nah. All right. Anything else before we move on to the next thing? No. All right. Should we talk about the Spine of Night?
We could do that, or joke and recap Chucky.
Oh, okay. I can do that real quick. So, in this episode of Chucky, they kind of slow it down a bit. I suck with everyone's name, but basically, the autistic girl is not like she's not into Chucky anymore because half his face is burnt. So the dad gets her a Timmy doll, good guy doll, and the three. We need a team name for them. I don't know, but
yeah, we gotta think of it.
Yeah, but Jake and friends they actually find the Chucky doll and they beat the shit out of it. So they're kind of thinking that everything is like cool. And then we get the flashback. And oh my God, guys, Jennifer Tilly is in Chucky. Like, man. Like,
Larry
awesome.
doesn't know why he's laughing.
So, for those of you that don't know, real quick, Jennifer Tilly is she joined the series in Bride of Chucky. Her name was Tiffany. They get married. They kill people. And they do their thing. And in the remake, they kind of were moving away from her, but they did give her a cameo. Not remake, I'm sorry, reboot, the soft reboot. She did get a cameo, but now they've got her in the series, and they do a flashback to how they met, Chucky and Tiffany, how they met, and like some of the early kills, and we find out that Chucky is having issues with the soul swapping. Which I mentioned that before, like the Curse of Chucky was all about him like learning how to separate the soul and put it into different places. And that's how he survives the beating from Jake and Friends. He put himself inside the Timmy doll, and so they think everything is cool. The town thinks everything is, well, not cool exactly, because, you know, they don't know why these accidents keep happening, accident murders. And so they're at a town meeting, and the principal is supposed to come out, but her head just rolls onto the stage instead. And the whole town like freaks out, right? Like freaks the fuck out. And this is a good episode. I had a couple of issues with it, technical issues. Like, you know, Chucky did the soul swap, but they don't show him like taking the batteries out of the doll and putting it into the new one. So it's like, you know, he was running without batteries. So when they attacked the doll that he was in, it shouldn't have like reacted or said anything unless he actually went and took out the new batteries and put them in. And they don't do that, or they don't show it. Like they end up showing the swap. And actually, Mo, are you caught up? Did you watch this episode?
I'm actually behind, man. Yeah, I'm counting on you. For some reason, Sci-Fi app don't let me log in now.
Oh, that sucks.
Even though I have Peacock.
Because, like, there's a scene where they actually show him swapping the soul after they explain that he can do it. There's a scene of him swapping the doll, and I was just kind of wondering if you needed that, because I didn't. But maybe, like, I mean, I could see kind of thematic, but I was just wondering if you needed that, like if that's something that benefited overall to the flow. But and my one other issue is there's a scene where Chucky gets tossed down a garbage chute and he lands in a garbage can full of needles, and you know he gets high off the residual drugs, and that's not how sharps are disposed of. Like, you don't just throw them
right
into the trash. So that bugged me a little bit. Like, I don't know. It's one, it does seem weird, but two, it's like, now that I have experience in that, it just didn't work for me. But overall, this is a good episode. Like, it does feel like a pause, like, you know, like they're letting you catch your breath from like the last few episodes, and then like the ending is like the exclamation point that makes you like get you hyped for the next week's show.
Okay.
So yeah, that is our Chucky recap, episode 5. I don't remember the title of the episode, but that is our Chucky recap.
Cool. Larry still hasn't watched it.
He's busy.
Give it a 4 out of 5.
You know what I would like for Larry to watch? Other Lily. But at the same time, though, Kill Assist was on Twitter talking about the movie Separation, which I've been meaning to do a one shot on, but I'm lazy and my room is fucked right now. But I found Separation completely not scary. Like it works better as like a slice of life drama than it does a horror movie, in my opinion. And Killisis thought it wasn't scary at all either, but he did think the puppets were creepy. And so I need Lawrence to watch Separation to be the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
To figure out whether this non-scary movie has creepy puppets or not.
How is it a tiebreaker? It's like two of you think it's not scary, and if I do, that means you all win still. Like we should just go with it's not scary.
No, you have to judge. You have to judge whether the puppets are creepy. That's where we're tied.
Oh,
I think the puppets aren't creepy. He thinks the puppets are. Well, you can't just say that. You have to look at the puppets.
Listen. I don't need to look at creepy puppets to know they're creepy puppets.
No, you have to.
They're creepy right now. I can feel
can't win the argument.
Negative energy.
And that's another thing I had planned before my fucking internet went down. Like, there's a shot which is like it kind of defines the movie's ineffectualness as a horror movie, where they show the puppet and then it's like slowly moving like towards the character, but it's moving so slowly that I'm not scared. I'm just like looking at the details, like just admiring the handiwork. So it's like,
well, even like Chucky, that's part of the reason why I like the show. What I've watched so far is that it's about the characters dealing with Chucky more than it is about Chucky just running wild, you know? Because realistically, like, yeah, you know what? Let's just throw Chucky in the vat of cement, a bucket full of cement, and just let him harden. You know?
Let's throw Chucky in a vat of cement.
Because it's like you can't burn him or anything, but if you just trap his body in cement and throw it in the bottom of the ocean, yeah, he'll probably like transfer his soul to a fish, but then he's got to be able to get out of there.
Well, I mean, according to Cult of Chucky, he's already got like a bunch of him out there. So, in fact, I thought we saw one in the hospital last episode, because when Junior was getting sedated, you see a Chucky doll run by, but it didn't look scarred. And then when Jake and the girl go back to the house, Chucky is there. So I think it feels like there was a second Chucky at the hospital.
Okay. Well,
but we'll see.
Larry,
like, I read
that too.
I read an interview with Jennifer Tilly talking about the show, and it was kind of interesting. Like, she thought she was not going to be like involved anymore because the producers kind of thought Son of Chucky was, and this is her quote, what she's saying, they said it was too gay, too funny, and too much Jennifer Tilly.
Wow.
So she thought she was like done with the series, but they brought her back and they gave her a lot of stuff to do. And she says the last episode is bananas.
Wow.
So, man, like, I was already hyped, and then she said that, and I got hyper, so.
Got hyped her. Yeah. Well, since you're nice and hyped, we should probably move on to Spine of Night.
Yes.
So, yeah, Jay, you want to tell us about the Spine of Night?
Sure. Spine of Night is a medieval fantasy anthology about magic plants and the people that possess them. So we start off with the witch having the plants, and, you know, her tribe gets slaughtered, and a librarian steals the plants, and then he goes mad with power, and the guardian of the plant tells the story of the first men, and then the trap is set. And failure, because of course.
Look, that sounds fair, Jay. That sounds fair. Yeah. Okay. So, what did you all think, Oz? What did you think of the Spine of Night, man?
I didn't like it. The backgrounds were really well done, really beautiful backgrounds, but everything that was animated looked bad. Like, and there's one scene where it's an action scene. There's fighting, and it looked like it was in slow motion and weird. I didn't like it. And then you assholes didn't warn me of the nudity. So I'm sitting there like on my lunch break going, okay, well, I can catch some of it right now. I'll catch the rest later. Pop it on. Within the first minute, there's a naked lady. Just like that. That's it. That's my whole screen is a naked lady.
Now, here's the thing. We said it was in the vein of heavy metal.
Yeah.
Which means nudity. Like that. Those were your key words. In the vein of heavy metal, that means nudity.
Yeah, and when you talk about heavy metal, you think of either a ton of nudity or not enough. You know, like every time you watch a vignette, it's like, oh, that one didn't have enough nudity. Yeah. But then the other ones are all like the characters just nude all the time. Yeah.
It's like,
and I will say this one does a remarkable job of making the nudity non-sexy. Yeah. Like it's just kind of there.
It was very non-sexy. That I had no. I am not going to enjoy that opening sequence at all, ever in my life. But it's enough that it's not safe for work. Yeah. But besides,
it's cartoons. Yeah, and it's not like porn cartoons. It's not hentai.
It's still
it's full frontal nudity.
There's like, a line,
and it's like, oh look, I'm sure the director of HR walked by right when Oz pulled that up on his computer at work. And was just like, there he goes masturbating in the office again.
There are lines, and I was straddling the lines, and not in a good way. Still, that aside, I didn't like the animation. I like the backgrounds, but the story just like kept going. Like it just, there's nothing interesting to me. There are moments where I thought it would get interesting, and then, okay, yeah, well, whatever. All right. Oh, look, now this guy's naked. Okay, I guess. You know, like, okay. So everybody that takes this cocaine plant ends up naked in a cave. Okay, all right, I got you. What else? It's just I don't know. If the animation was better, maybe I could spend more time watching it. But you put all that together, and I was done. I got halfway through it, and I was done.
That's fair. That's fair. Mo, what were your thoughts?
I'm not a fan of rotoscoping animation. I think that's what this was. In some respects, it works really well when they do the story of the first men, and everything is just black. That looks really good. But as far as like, the characters and especially in the beginning, it was off-putting. After a while, I got used to it, and it was fine. The story itself, I actually enjoy, and it does have the vein of like, it's that weird fantasy, dark fantasy that is very like, and even the way they did it in the mythology style around the same thing, I really enjoyed. So I wish I had more of it in that respect. But it's one of those things like, man, would this have been that like better if it was just live action, because the rotoscoping, I mean, we saw that other movie. What was the one that we saw, Jay? Till Your Last Death.
Right.
And that was kind of rotoscope too, and that looked bad, but at
Well,
least
that was puppeting. That's
puppeting,
a
is that what it's
completely different technique. Yeah.
called? Okay. But the reason I guess why I call it rotoscoping because it looks like the actors who do the voices. Yeah,
Oh.
whereas this is rotoscoping and it doesn't look like the actors at all. Which is I think that contributes to like Oz's criticism about the animation, I think. Yeah.
Right.
If they would have looked like the characters, I think the animation would have looked better, And there's something to be said for them just not copying out and making the characters look like the actors animated too, It's a risky take. What are you gonna say, Jay? Before
I was gonna say, if you like, another example of something that was rotoscoped was that series that we talked about on Amazon, Awake.
Awake, yeah.
Which, that was also rotoscoping.
Yeah. And that looks different because it looks like a filter over something filmed, not as much as like A Scanner Darkly, which I love that movie, but it still has that effect. I don't know. I guess in rotoscoping, it has a weird effect where everything feels like it's floating on something. And with something like Awake or Scanner Darkly, like I can see that being off-putting. And this one, because of the pre-rendered backgrounds, they were able to manage that floating effect, but there was still enough of it to put somebody like Oz off. For me, it was off-putting, but I got used to it quick, and I was okay with it.
Right.
But the story is where I really got into it, and I enjoyed that a lot.
Cool. So, as for myself, I agree with Oz in the sense of the animation. I wasn't a fan of it. Like I will say that I, much like you, Moses, I did get used to it. But the big thing that for me that I was like, I mean, I think in general it wasn't animated well, as far as like the characters and whatnot and how they move around. But the big thing, for whatever reason, for me was the teeth. Like the teeth.
A lot of teeth.
And I was just like, dude, I don't like these teeth, man. Like people start talking, and all I can do is look at their teeth, and I'm like, they look so bad. Like, which I don't know. It was really strange for me.
No, you're right. There's like one scene where the mouth just opens a little before they start talking. It was just teeth, like.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. But I do think, like, I did enjoy the story. Now, I do feel like the story was at certain points a little bit clunky. Like, I don't know if it was like maybe like just could have been edited together better or something like that, or maybe it needed somebody to come and be like, hey, take this part out or move, well, I won't say move anything because I feel like the order of stuff was fine, but just, there might be a scene or two that maybe could have been out of the movie altogether. But I do like the anthology aspect of it and how you're kind of telling basically like the history of this plant, or of these, of this mystical flower and how it affects all these different people and like how it ends up coming back around or whatnot. Like that was really cool. It's one of those things where it's like, I know Mo had mentioned maybe, like, could this have been better if it was live action? And it's like, I mean, obviously it would have had a better look to it if it was live action.
Well, it depends on who made it. Yeah.
Well, that's true, and that is true, right? It does depend on who made it. Also, too, is I was just for personally, I'm not even sure I could watch all the things that happen if this was live action because like there's a lot of violence in this joint that I personally would not want to see in live action. So you know, but I definitely would like to see better animation. Because I was just like the story was interesting, and I feel like there's like some cool kind of things that do happen. Like what I would be really interesting to see would been like this exact script, but done by like an anime studio, and just to kind of see like what that movie looks like versus this one, because I kind of feel like you could probably do like all like you don't have to change any of the story, you don't have to change any of the dialogue. Like I feel like if it was just an anime studio that just did the visuals, this is a whole different movie, you know? And so yeah, but yeah, that like my initial thought was just like, okay, like the animation's not really working for me. What's up with these teeth? And I'm like, where's the story going? And eventually I like halfway through I'm like, okay, I'm understanding what's happening with this story now, and that's interesting. So yeah, that was my initial take. So it sounds like all of us are probably not huge fans of the animation. Is that correct, or am I correct in saying that? Was any of you like wanting it to look the way that it looks?
Nah, like I'm not a huge rotoscoping guy. Like you see like 30% of the time someone does something really cool with it, and the other 70% is just like no.
Yeah, right.
And
There's a reason
yeah,
you
like
stopped.
I said, like the action came off really slow. And in particular, there's one scene where a guy is levitating a girl and he throws her, and it's like it's so slow
Yeah.
that it's like, yeah, I was not feeling that. Like other than that, though, like when it comes to the non-action, it and the teeth, it was fine. I like some of the surrealer images, like when the guy has the eye in his chest. Like that was like a cool looking thing, and there are definitely certain scenes and certain things that do look pretty awesome. The first men's story, like Mo said, that was amazing to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is because of the way they did the rotoscoping, because they just blacked out like full live actors, and even though it's blacked out, like their whole figure is blacked out, you can still see the contours of the body in motion without any light hitting them. And for me, I like maybe I had a little bit of that flower, but it just that segment was my favorite, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right there. You're right there. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a strange thing. Like just like like I will again. We're talking about things that I'm not sure I want to see in live action. I don't know if I could have seen that eye thing in live action. Like it would be like I could totally see it as a moment in like if you're watching this movie and that happens in live action and it looks like like it what it's supposed to look like if it looks like what you intend for it to look like that can be an amazing moment cinematically, I'm sure. But but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I could watch that. And then on top of that too, I like it was like some of the performances are a little weird in this movie too. And I feel like part of it might be like people aren't on the set at the same time.
Yeah, I think this was one of those movies that was made during the pandemic, like during the lockdown.
Yeah.
And back when we were doing the show at the beginning of it, I said, we're going to see a lot of animation stuff coming out.
Yeah.
But a lot of what we get is kind of like this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the cast is, it's a decent cast. It's not like like the people aren't they're talented people, but it's definitely a thing where it's kind of like it feels like it could potentially be people that were like locked in rooms on their own reading dialogue versus like actually like, and it's not even like to say like you need people to be like, Lord knows, like a lot of animated stuff happens like that. Mm-hmm. But when you have people that are used to working in that kind of condition, it doesn't necessarily feel that way. But this movie felt that way at some points. In other points, it worked. But like when you're talking about people, oh, go ahead.
I didn't realize that was Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
In the movie, I thought it was the inconceivable guy.
No.
Yeah.
That's because Oswald's getting old.
Yeah. And honestly, I would have liked John Mulaney there better.
You saw me drinking. Have me mess my computer up. Stop it. Listen. But yeah. It is, like I didn't realize it was Patton Oswalt either, and it's one of those things where what?
I knew it was Patton Oswalt.
I didn't know.
He normally has a little more bass in his voice.
Yeah, but he's acting. Like,
Yeah,
there were
he's acting like the inconceivable guy.
There were a few moments where I thought, "Oh, that sounds like Zach," but it's obviously as Oswald.
Not obvious to Jay and I. Oz, whatever. Listen,
well, you
don't know about Pip the Troll.
I mean, as the animation guy of record for the show, and the Patton Oswalt fan club member extraordinaire,
the president of the Patton Oswalt fan.
The president of the Patton Oswalt fapping. I don't know what I can say on YouTube. Damn it! I miss the days when I could just say stuff.
You could just say it, like what are they gonna do?
I says my freedoms.
Yeah.
The thing is, I gotta be better at editing myself because we're gonna do stuff live soon. I don't want to start editing that because that takes a lot of time.
Technically, we're doing stuff live now.
No, but I mean like live, like live and in person.
Like F it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
Like you only have a 6-second delay to censor.
I wish I wish we had 6 seconds. I have a.
We're like, someone blur Oz's penis quickly. Hurry!
Oh, there's not enough. There's not a brush big enough. Oh, that's not funny. Oh, F you guys. Whatever. What? We're gonna be live at some point, walking around in person, like breathing on each other and passing the what do you call it, Lawrence? The Budweiser illness or whatever. We're gonna be live and in person soon. There's a lot of stuff to come from Comic-Con International Special Edition, which means a special edition of Fantastic Forum. Hit the bell, subscribe, do all that. Now, I don't even know why I have to tell you guys. Everybody knows that you have to hit the subscribe and the like. Like I don't know why I do that every day in every video. I'm tired of putting that clip in. Move on.
You should do it.
It's a green screen clip that you have to like do special effects on.
Every time I have to. I mean, I got it down to like 3 clicks, but still.
Yeah. I actually saved the settings so I can just copy it. I can just paste the settings now.
Here's the messed up part, though. As a person that watches YouTube videos, sometimes I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should like this." Like, no, and I'm being real.
Except our videos.
I was well, yeah. Like,
when I say like and subscribe, it's just for Lawrence, and he still hasn't.
Yeah, and Jay.
Either.
I'm subscribed,
but
and
you don't like our videos.
Well, look. Some of y'all don't be making that creative content. I'm just saying. No, I'm joking. I'm playing.
We want douchebags that like what you like to see that you're watching this.
I agree. Our funniest content is when Lawrence isn't on. Maybe that's the problem.
Damn.
He's watching himself.
Yeah.
Look, I will say that I have had plenty of time where I've been watching Fantastic Four on the show I haven't been on. I'm like, man, y'all are killing it. I don't know if you all kill it in the same way when I'm here, because I'm a part of it, but I guess I should go back and watch a show I'm on and be like, are they killing it in the same way? And if
no,
you're not,
because you'd be laughing. Be like, you'd be laughing hysterically right now. Your little square would just be you going, ha, 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 ha. Like you'd have to mute your mic because you'd blow out our ears. And instead, you're just there like, I agree, sir. And it's like, okay.
I was trying to find if a toothbrush was in reach, because you were like saying there's not a brush big enough, and I hold up my toothbrush.
I feel like when you're on the show, it's like Jay watching the Eternals. You just want to take a dump. See, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, but you would have said that if you wasn't here.
That's true.
Mary Young is friggin'. He makes us use the show as a laxative. I agree.
Yeah, it's like his new nickname is X-Lax.
No, it's not. It's definitely not X-Lax.
You like X-Men? That's your X-Men code, your mutant code name, X-Lax.
X-Lax. Listen, I feel like that could happen sometime in the near future, though. Like, you could have a mutant named X-Lax. Anyway, The Spine of Night. Anybody got anything else they want to say about it before we rate it?
I give it a 3 out of 5. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the concept. I would like to see more, like, anthologies on it, maybe better, a little bit better executed, But yeah, they gave you something, and we watched it, and now we're telling you, like, it's at least for that first men segment, it's worth a watch. Everything else that kind of it all ties into it, so it's not like the anthology part feels like it's just a bunch of segments. Like, they all kind of flow together too, and I enjoyed it. So 3.5 out of 5.
If anybody wants to watch it, how would they find it?
It's on Shudder.
Okay.
And Amazon.
Okay.
It's in theaters right now, actually.
It's if you want to stream it, it's streaming for $6.99 on basically any streaming platform: YouTube, Amazon Prime, Vudu, Apple TV, Google Play. It's all there. So, every non-Disney affiliated streaming service looks like $6.99. Frankly, that's way too much, because I'm gonna give it a 2. Look, there's maybe something interesting happens after the halfway point, but at that point, I've already wasted an hour of my life, and I was done. The only thing I enjoyed was looking at the backgrounds. Like, at one point, there's a cave that looks like a skull, and like just the imagery alone. If you take the people out of it, or the characters that move, you take them out of it, and there's some amazing imagery, but I can't take those people talking in the teeth, like Lawrence said, and then the story moves so slow. The action sequences are super slow. I couldn't do it.
With everything, I guess this question could go for everyone here, but with everything that you saw, with the way they did it without changing the teeth, if this was like a music video to a cool song, like, would it be a bad music video?
It would have to be a really cool song.
Right. I'm thinking, like an Iron Maiden or, something cool.
I'm sorry. You said cool and Iron Maiden.
All right.
Oh,
Shots
I was
fired.
like Iron Maiden.
Shots fired.
I mean, I obviously there's a whole different thing here if this is something that's like, 2.5, 3 minutes versus 90.
Right.
It's like in 2.5 minutes, I only noticed the teeth at the end, probably, right?
I know the teeth like up front.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. What I will say is this: for me personally, I was like, I'd probably give this joint 3.5 out of 5, like because I do like the story and I do agree with you, Moses, in the sense like I would watch another one of these, but I would hope it'd be better. Like I would hope, whether you're talking about getting people into a studio together so they can actually like have more of a chemistry or sound like they're like actually talking to one another, or even, I mean, because some parts of it did feel that way, other parts didn't, and if we could get some improvement on the animation, I think that like that would really be the whole thing. Like it's just a weird thing because it's like there's some points in this thing where I'm just like I'm noticing weird stuff that I don't normally notice in animation. There was a point where I'm watching this joint and I don't remember if a guy was yelling or if he was singing or what he was doing, but I could see like his uvula, and I was just like, why am I like, why do I see that? Like, and I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously, it's a thing that exists in reality, but I'm just like, did that performance, like, did somebody film that person doing that?
I've had a lot of people yell at me, and I don't see their uvula.
Well, that's what rotoscoping is. Like, it's filmed and then drawn over.
Yeah, and whatever the camera sees, they draw over.
I don't think the
pretty much.
That. Going back to what Mo was saying, if this was in kind of what Lawrence tried to say, but he didn't say it right. Yeah, if this was like a 3 or 4 minute music video, I can roll with it, especially if it's a song that I really enjoy. But I mean, an hour into this thing, it's like I just had to turn it off. I was done.
I guess
the first men.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the first men part could work for a music video. Maybe not the rest. Like, you say music video, fantasy. In any case, when you proposed the question, I immediately thought of Do the Evolution and how amazing that is, and I would much rather watch that than with the exception of the first men, like just watching that as a music video, like I would much rather watch Do the Evolution or even Paranoid Android. Like, yeah. I love that. Like I used to watch that all the time, and the animation and the art is kind of shitty, but it fits into like that surrealness.
Right.
There's also this I can't remember if the band or the name is like Die Fantasy, where it has a more traditional art style, and like it's a music video, but I don't think I've ever listened to the words. Like I'm normally busy watching the video because it's just a cool little thing that's happening with these kids in a pool being murdered by monsters. So yeah, like there's a lot of awesome animated music videos, and I'm not sure this would make the cut into that pantheon.
I guess next week we're reviewing the Iron Maiden video for Writing on the Wall.
No, by the way, I would rate this like a 3. Like, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the story. Like, it was mostly like the action was a little slow and awkward, but other than that, like I did enjoy the story. I enjoyed the non-sexy nudity. Yeah, there's a lot to enjoy. Like, not a huge fan of rotoscoping, and that gets, weird a little bit at times, especially with the teeth. But overall, I think I had a feeling of like towards this, and I would like more. Especially want more because I realized while I was watching this that a lot of the fantasy shows I watch are like anime, which are more high energy, faster pace, and I kind of was wondering if that had any like bearing, but I don't think so.
Writing on the Wall came out this year. They're still doing stuff.
Yeah, it's like their 20th album or
The
something.
thumbnail for that video is already 10 times better than this thing you guys made me watch. Like, yeah, I want to watch this video. It looks amazing. It's death on a motorcycle, multiple deaths on multiple motorcycles. It's a motorcycle gang of death.
Yeah, but it's a weird like video.
What's it called?
The Writing on the Wall, or Writing on the Wall.
It just came out in July.
Yeah, a couple months
I
ago.
didn't even know they were still alive. Good for them.
Oh, dude, yeah, they're
Good for them for surviving.
Look, yeah, I mean, Bruce Dickinson is like, he looks like a svelte young dude. Like he looks in better shape.
2021, surviving is a thumbs up, I think.
The thing is, he looks in better condition than us.
No, that you gotta show the thumbnail. Okay, I guess we're showing the video.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean the cool.
Not the whole video. And we're not doing the sound because that makes Oz nervous.
Yeah,
YouTube hates it.
Yeah, but it's fun.
What video were you talking about earlier with the Android?
Paranoid Android?
Yeah, Larry, don't go to it because it has an Android in it.
Yeah, it's what is that? What is my dude Tom York's band? Radiohead.
Yeah,
Like it's an old Radiohead song.
It connects with Eternals, right?
but the thing is, there's no Android in the video, and it's not.
What?
It's not about an Android per se.
Is Tom York in it? Because he's got that goofy eye. That
No, it's an
No,
animated.
it's animated.
Yeah, it's a great video.
It's also Radiohead. I don't like Radiohead.
Radiohead's good, but
it's kind of.
But I can see like why you would have that.
Please do.
All right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And it's
But
still
you gotta stop the
going.
music,
Oh my
Jay.
God, the best part was coming where the car goes dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's how the car goes.
He don't remember. He don't remember. That's my Jack Black singing "Paranoid Android."
Jack Black.
Yeah, it's a good video. Like
It's a good
again,
song.
it's a good song. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard an amazing
All right.
jazz cover of it that was awesome, despite like being jazz and not having the words. It was like pretty good.
Yeah. When I
Yeah.
went to the Scary Thing for Halloween, they played a Radiohead song. They did and it was like a jazz. It was just the dude on the piano, the jazz female singer, and the dude on the bass. And what song? It was. I think it was after that. It was from In Rainbows or something.
Oh, okay.
From Hell to the Thief. One of
I'd
them.
rather listen to Nickelback than Radiohead.
Oh, get the fuck out of here!
Nickelback is awesome.
Oh my god! Now I got
I don't know why people
Why you
hate
so
on
surprised?
them.
You knew Jay was gonna say that. You knew that.
I saw them live. Like they were like really good.
There's a lot of bands that are way better live than just listening to their songs. But I think it's because you're there live and there's hype.
It was kind of funny. It happened like right after 9/11, and his guitar string broke. And so he shouts out to the crowd, I guess I should have used the one made in America. And like everyone started cheering. It was like the most pandering bullshit I've ever heard live. But it was fun.
Okay.
He's not even from America.
He's
Right. Like that's what he's saying. Like he was using the Canadian string, but he should have used the one made in America because we make better guitar strings than them.
I mean, you should have been at a concert from a band made in America.
Wait,
Oh, it's a bunch of people. It wasn't just them.
Yeah, no, I understand how. Oh, okay, the show.
but is that true? Like, do we make better guitar strings in America?
No, we don't.
No,
Pandering to
no, it's just pandering bullshit.
Yeah, because all our guitar strings are made in China or Japan. Like, if you buy a guitar from like Guitar Center and it says like, the guitar itself made in America like raises the value like thousands of dollars, but it's like, oh, you have the Mexican one or you have the Korean one, but if you have like the Japanese one, you're like, oh, okay, I'll take that, and it'll be cheaper. Yeah,
I mean, it's just
wow.
a string made out of steel. Like, it's not complicated.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm just like, I don't even know. Do we make that here anymore or not? Because that was more my thought. I was just like, if we don't make it here, then that's okay, right?
Who knows?
Like, we're making microchips. Or, well, maybe.
No, we're
maybe
not.
even actually.
Yeah,
You're right. Like, that's all happening in Taiwan, right? Like, like so, okay.
In the place
which means it's made in China soon.
Yeah.
We're making software.
Well,
we're having ideas for things.
We're packaging pretty good.
Yeah.
We're packaging pretty good.
What we are producing is methane in the ozone layer. That's what we're good
That's
at.
what we're producing.
Yeah.
Number one
China's
in
be
the world, baby.
No, they got everything else but methane because we do all the meat here.
Right. Well, our president is going internationally producing methane.
Right.
You just call President Biden a windbag. I heard you. No, I heard you.
He's farting up a storm, and it's like international incidents. But whatever.
He's gassing the diplomats.
I'm sorry. Oh, my apologies. That's probably not something you heard on CNN. That's why you haven't heard about it. No, I get it.
I mean,
you know what? You should have heard it though on that Learning on with Pibby show.
It's like, why is the headline "The President Farts"?
Because Princess Camilla has.
Well, the thing is, we're also used to the other president where all the shit came out of his mouth.
No,
not his ass.
Okay, yeah, you're right, Mo. Learning with Pibby. Apocalypse. All right, let's talk about Learning with Pibby. Oz, did you watch Learning with Pibby?
I watched the trailer because I was told that's all we had to go on.
Right.
Okay, good.
And
right.
Right.
That's a load off my load.
Jay, were you the one that brought this to the forum and we're like, yeah, you're the one that was like, we should watch this, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it. Like, what made you feel like, hey, the forum needs to watch this. We need to talk about it.
Well, a couple of things. First off, it's like a preschool learning show character is involved in a multi-universal apocalypse. Like, that's just amazing. Like, it's right up the forums, like right in the forums wheelhouse.
I got
so. Secondly, wait, what's your question, Oz?
Is Pibby or Learning with Pibby or whatever is that an actual show? Is Pibby an actual character that has been a show before this?
No, it's created for this show.
Okay, because that influences how I felt about this. But go ahead, you keep explaining.
Okay, so basically, Adult Swim releases something every year for Halloween. Jack Stauber's Opal was one of those things. This year was the Learning with Pibby trailer. It's like kind of like a fake trailer meant to just be like a one-off thing to enjoy, but it also serves as like a pitch. So depending on if this gets popular enough, which it's currently at like 3 million views, despite being age restricted, uh, if people like it enough, the creator, Dodge Greenlee, is hoping to get it made into a full series. And so it was, I I just really enjoyed watching this. Like it's like one of those ultimate fish out of water type deals where you have a character for preschool learning having to fight an all-encompassing evil that's taken her friend. And there's one scene in it where her eye is injured and she's asking what the red water like is because she's never seen it. And that is just amazing to me. It honestly, it also reminds me of it kind of reminds me of Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse, where the dude went to Spider-Man and Amazing Friends universe and they didn't have words to describe how evil the guy was just because of their platform, like their demographic, their universe. Like there isn't anything in that universe to describe him. And they did this with the preschooler, and that was just awesome to me. And I like seeing like her change, like from from like disillusion, or not disillusion, but seeing her go from like teacher to badass. It's like a cool progression.
Yeah. So right now, there's no we haven't heard anything in regards to whether this is actually going to become a show or not. It's like this is all literally just a trailer and just hype.
Right. I mean, they've Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, they've applied for patents and trademarks, but that's nothing special. Like they're always doing that.
Right.
Whenever they might have a new thing, like they apply, they get those. That's just an initial thing, like that they do. Whether they're planning on making it or not, they want the patents and trademarks.
And so we did mention that the concept is like Pibby kind of going or interacting with a lot of different other animated shows or whatnot, some of which are of course made up for the trailer and some of which are like kind of classic animated shows that people would know throughout basically history.
Mm-hmm.
But it does have Fred Flintstone in it, and that part in the trailer has already become like a meme in and of itself.
And here's why I asked the question about Pibby earlier, because when I watched this trailer, first of all, I liked it. I like I like the idea behind it, the concept. But my problem was if the Pibby TV show was actually like a actual show, like I didn't know about it, and so I had no emotional attachment to this character, to either Pibby or what's the rabbit's name, Honey Buns or Hun Buns or whatever the bunny's name is. Like I had no emotional attachment to it. I just like the concept, but I do like they cross over with Hanna-Barbera cartoons. So I do like the Flintstones. Yeah, I do have an attachment there. The Jetsons, I have an attachment there. Even I think at Adventure Time, I think it is. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I do actually enjoy that shows up. And my only problem is, well, I don't have that attachment with Pibby. But if it is a show that already exists, I can see how that would affect people that did grow up and like watch that show. Now, knowing that it's completely made up for this, I feel a little bit better. I can just kind of, whatever they tell me about this character is what I'm going to know about him. I don't have to have that attachment to the character. So I like the concept. The only thing that I didn't like, that really bugged me, is the way they portray the villains as kind of like that broken up, glitchy. Like it felt like when I used to play video games and they would just screw up and I had to reset, and I hate that. But keep in mind that I'm sure that's exactly the reaction they were trying to get out of me. Is it's supposed to creep me out. It's supposed to feel, when those characters show up, it's supposed to feel like nails on a chalkboard. I'm supposed to have that reaction. And yeah, they hit every button that I assumed they were trying to hit with this trailer. And this is just a trailer. I really enjoyed it. It's something that I want to see happen, especially if they can get the licenses for a lot of the characters that they show in the trailer, which I assume wouldn't be that hard because they showed up in the trailer, right? They have to have some kind of permission to use them, or else.
Warner Brothers owns Hanna-Barbera, so they own Cartoon Network. So it's we might, if it would come out, we'd probably get a Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law, or Space Ghost. All those other shows. It could, that, and that's kind of like why I like the glitchiness too, because they're all TV shows. They're all part of the TV universe, and they're just getting the channel changed on them, or in the reception's fucking up there.
They're turning into how I used to watch the Playboy channel.
Right, exactly.
At that age.
Yeah.
This is probably why it disturbed me so much.
Yeah. It's like you didn't know whether to take off your pants or like change the channel.
Yeah, my hand starts sliding down a little bit, and I'm like, wait, no, that's not right.
I did.
But then Pibby like undoes her bun and like does that thing. I'm like, okay, hand moves a little closer.
Am I the only one that thinks like it's awesome? Like her arc in the little trailer, like she's like innocent and then badass at the end. Like,
well, I mean, that's what we're talking about. Her eye is bleeding out.
Yeah.
Like, what is this?
And then she just has the eye patch at the end. Like, it was like fucking. I was way more excited than I needed to be for that.
Yeah. Also, too, I think that the sidekicks are pretty awesome too. Like how you have like the kind of prototypical kind of Disney villain.
Yeah.
The cat, like kind of get like the cat villain almost has like a little bit of the like
Ursula,
like Ursula kind of vibe. Yeah. And then you have, of course, the superhero sidekick in what was it, Beta Boy,
Beta Kid.
There it is. And I'm like, no, that it's an interesting like ensemble where it's like the three of them together is kind of cool. So Jay, I know you said this is something that Cartoon Network does periodically. What are the chances of this actually becoming a show that gets greenlit?
Well, the chances are decent. I wish I could have better numbers for you, but I will say Infinity Train was not this popular. Or I should say it built its popularity slower than Pibby did. So if Infinity Train got picked up, there's a good chance that something with this momentum may get picked up. And it's part of the issue too is that the creator has all his stuff, like the creator is ready to do it. So there's a whole lot of material out there that would normally mean something that doesn't, because of how eager he is to like get this going. So you have character sheets detailing their arcs. You have a casting call letter. All of these got leaked recently. And normally it would be a good sign, but I'm pretty sure the guy just had them. Just like thinking happy thoughts, had all this material ready. So there's literally no word.
By having this stuff leak, it's good hype too, because it's like, okay, is it coming or isn't it coming? When is it coming? Is the next question that people ask on social media, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait till IDW makes the comic book adaptation.
There it is.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
Well,
yeah,
but
aren't they Boom?
No,
isn't Cartoon Network stuff under Boom normally?
Yeah, on Kaboom, yeah.
Right.
But they don't have an exclusive license, because we at IDW, I believe we have Rick and Morty. You know.
Okay.
And but Adventure Time is at Kaboom, at Boom Studios, but technically they're all owned by Warner Brothers, so they would be, unless they gave the studio rights to publish their comics with whoever they want, it'd be different, But I know at IDW we have exclusive license to Paramount stuff, and but the Cartoon Network stuff is actually, we might not even have Rick and Morty no more. Let me check.
So is what you call it getting a comic? The Brad Neely show, is that getting a comic?
I don't know, but it'd be.
I don't remember the name of it. It's
like
a Paramount Plus.
Right?
Yeah, House of something. It's a Paramount Plus exclusive that I want to watch, but I don't want to get Paramount Plus.
Use Larry's password.
Okay.
I'll see if I can negotiate that.
Probably not something that should be playing on the air.
Why? They're friends and they live together. But they only shoot for the show separately so that the windows don't look awkward. See, look at the coat of paint in Joe's room and Larry's room. Like, he's literally across the other room. Yeah.
So
right.
Should we go ahead and do some final thoughts before we get out of here?
Well, I'm gonna rate Pibby first. I give it a 5 out of 5.
You're gonna rate the trailer?
Yeah. Well, it's what they present.
It's a one-off thing. Like,
okay.
Like, network side, they're not expecting anything more than the trailer. Like, that's what they put out as their Halloween short.
Got it.
It's just the creator that wants to do more. So and this has happened before. This happened with J.G. Quintel's Close Enough. Like, before the show started production, he made a fake trailer to kind of get people excited for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. 5 out of 5. What would you rate it, Oz?
I mean, if we're just doing that trailer, yeah, 5 out of 5. I want to see that. Make it into a series right now.
Got it. There it is. Moses Magnum.
5 out of 5 for me too, man. Larry's not going to give it 5 because he's scared.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 because of the teeth. I like the teeth. So they get their teeth right. We'll see. They might be able to get 4 out of 5. So yeah, no, it's great. I liked it a lot. I want to see it. I hope it gets made. 5 out of 5 too. So cool. All right. You all ready to get out of here, or we got anything else we got to talk about? That answers that. Oz, give me some final thoughts, man.
New thing of my package, whatever we're calling that thing, because our accountant Will is like so far up my ass that making my wife jealous. So yeah, check that out. Should be the next few days. Should be out.
Accountant Willie.
Hey.
His name is Willie, not Will.
Okay.
Oz has a big willy in his ass. Is that what I heard?
No,
Trying to avoid, but whatever.
That's what I heard. Jay, final thoughts.
There was a news story we didn't get to.
Get to any news.
Right, we didn't do any news, but the game company East Asia. Oh, fuck! I forgot the company's name. But there's basically an issue, not a controversy, but there's a game coming out called 20 Ladies. It's coming out on Switch. It's rated M for mature, for nudity. It's a Super Meat Boy clone. And you collect tokens and it unlocks nude pictures. The game is also coming to PlayStation 4, but they've changed the ladies into cartoon rabbits. It's called 20 Bunnies. And they've taken out all the nudity, and it's rated E for everyone.
It's probably, if you're a furry, though, it still kind of works.
If you're a furry, you're mad that there's no nudity.
Oh, no nudity, not even cat. Okay.
No, they're just bunnies.
Oh.
Yeah, they keep their clothes on. So if you're a furry, you're like, why can't they get? But yeah, and it's interesting because it's obviously the developers taking shots at Sony over their, how do they say, archaic censorship policies. So, that's kind of a dig at Sony. Not sure they noticed or cared, but it's funny to me.
Heck in chat says no nudity. Bullshit.
I agree.
Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
As always, we got stuff coming down the line. We're prepping for Comic-Con in like 2 weeks. So there's going to be... Oz and I are going to film an episode of Two Dicks on Two Dick in bed.
With their dicks out.
Yeah.
Right. And Willie. Willie will be up one of their asses.
No, well, Willie's making it happen. Willie got the Fantastic Forum condo. He made it happen. Willie, our accountant. So we got to get that Willie Fistigash. That's his name, Willie Fistigash.
Yeah.
I was avoiding the last name.
He's making it happen, man. Making it happen. Heck in chat says, I'm glad I got home in time to contribute. And yeah, me too, Heck. We missed you.
Indeed.
But thanks for coming. And like Heck, you can hit us up on social media. He's on ours and sends us stuff. We're more active on some than others, but we'll let you figure out which one. But yeah, we'll be back next week.
There it is. Folks, thank you all for your support. Thank you for watching. We do appreciate you. Keep letting us know what it is you want to see, what it is you want to hear, what it is that you want us to talk about. We're the Fantastic Forum. We'll catch you all next week.